Hey, sixth grade, Saturday afternoon here at school. Um, I think I'm the only one here, and I'm sure you guys don't miss it, but I thought I'd get some work done and get this ready for you guys for Monday morning. And I'm getting out of shopping, which isn't the worst thing. And when I go home, I get to watch North Carolina versus Duke. And hopefully, you guys are rooting for North Carolina because they're the good guys. So, what's going on at school? Well, apparently it's getting warmer and it's almost springtime. And if hopefully you're signing up for track, I can't remember when the first track practice is. I think Miss Foster told me, but very soon, maybe today, maybe Monday. Yeah, so sign up. Okay, even if you think you're late, get out there. It's one of the best things about sixth grade is this is the first chance you get to rep your school in a sport, which I know some of you guys have played sports before, but to me, I always think it's a little different when you can represent your school, your community. All right. Speaking of springtime, recess. So this is new for you guys. Please do not go on the track pits. You will get written out by the recess duty people if you don't listen to that warning. They might give you one warning, but you don't jump on there. I know it may seem like fun, but those are not for us. Okay, they're not for recess. If you happen to find other track equipment around, leave it alone. Especially shot put, things like that. So that's just something we face every springtime. Leave that stuff alone, please. Remember your manners. A few times over the last couple of weeks, I've dealt with some student conflicts, and kids said, I didn't mean to do that. It was just an accident. And I said, well, what happened when you did it, when you bumped into that person? And they kind of just said, I didn't say anything. I just walked away. So, remember that saying things like "I'm sorry," "excuse me," or "my bad" are really powerful words that strong people use. Okay, immature people who are weak and think, "Oh, I shouldn't say anything," or "I'm worried about getting in trouble," so I sort of run away. So I have a low tolerance for that. So if you accidentally run into somebody or whatever it may be, I actually got hit by a door by the outside or the bus duty, and somebody hit me right in the knee, and it hurt a little bit. But what was funny is they didn't instantly say my bad. I didn't scream at him or anything, but kind of left me like, well, that was pretty rude. But if think about it in the hallway, if someone bumps into you and they say nothing, you kind of assume it was on purpose. So as we're trying to build a kindler, gentler school, which is a phrase that a certain guy named Alex Trebek, if you know who he was, you'd be my friend. He says we need to bring it or build a kinder, gentler society. We use things like this and remember our manners. Okay. Sources of strength. Our second campaign is coming up this week, I think, or you already started on it maybe last week. Campaign number 2, Belong, which is going to be put up in the library over here. It's pretty exciting. Really excited about what the sources of strength folks are bringing to our school. And this is a good campaign, an important message to show that, no matter how unique or alone you may feel, that you do belong here at school. And if you feel that way, that's not right. Okay, we need to make you feel like you belong. Speaking of that, I had some interesting feedback from a student who's new this year that went to a different school up until this year, and they're eighth graders. Okay, and they just said that this school is a little different than their last middle school, and not necessarily in a good way. Okay, so as sixth graders, I wonder, I want some things to change around here. Specifically, she talked about that when people are mean, there's like this hesitancy to do anything about it as kids, that you don't want to get you think you'd be labeled a narc, which is a stupid word. It goes back to drug enforcement people, or a tattletale, and we're not 2 years old. And what's the one that I'm missing? Snitch. Okay, we're not in prison. Okay, so our school culture needs to be something that if people are being mistreated, we stand up for them in a positive way and involve staff if you need to. And I just hope because of not seeing you in pod, I feel like I don't always know this group of sixth graders super well so far, but I want to, and I hope that you guys will be just a great class moving forward. So hopefully we'll get to see each other in person in pod. Speaking of school culture and fun, finally, Pride Week, y'all, it's finally here. I've been talking about it for a while. One of the best weeks of the year here at school. The idea, this is the 4th year that we've done it, is to take one day each of the week and celebrate certain aspects of pride, that you should be proud of who you are, where you come from. Someday, I heard somebody make a crack about American Falls, and I didn't grow up here, but you guys are, and you should show pride in that because it's a great place. Okay. And so it's about celebrating your town, your community. We always have different themes. Plus, it's a contest, guys. And if you win, you can get daily prizes for your homeroom. And then overall for the whole week, a grade wins. And we'll talk about how you win points in just a second. But usually the individual homeroom contests, I might give you your homeroom a bag of candy or some treats. But for the whole week, as we tabulate points, if your grade wins, you actually get a whole half day of getting to do kind of like free fun activities at school. Just so you know, if you think, oh, sixth graders never win this stuff, we've had a sixth grade class win this before. It's actually the current eighth graders who have kind of won a lot of stuff over the years. But your sixth grade student council people are saying, like, I don't know if we'll do very good. And I said, well, inspire them. Come on, we can do this. So Monday, not this coming Monday when you're watching this, but a week from today. Okay, so start planning ahead, right? We're going to be celebrating hashtag Roots Pride. And if you have social media, you're welcome to use hashtags on these days. So this is celebrating where you come from. So your larger cultural heritage, whatever that might be for you, if you want to celebrate that. Wear a flag of your country or some cultural attire from your country. If you don't have stuff like that, maybe some grandparents' clothes that you might have, or something from your dad. I know one kid wore like their dad's high school letterman's jacket. So anything that helps you celebrate your roots, where you come from, that help make you who you are. This is one that I kept in over the years because it's been pretty fun and kids have a good time with it. So you can win points by wearing some sort of dress up. Okay, for Roots Pride. This is going to be a long pod video, sorry, because I have to explain Pride Week. I just remembered. And we have people come by and count. Make sure you're dressed up in homeroom, and you can keep it on all day as long as it's not too distracting or anything. But you can't say things like, I have my North Carolina shirt on. I'm not from North Carolina. So I say, oh, my uncle went there once. I'm dressed up. Like, it's got to be something out of the ordinary of your normal attire. So it's actually easy to count if you're participating. And please do, because it's for fun and it's a contest. So on Monday, to get your homeroom and your overall grades and points, wear your Roots Pride stuff. And then in homeroom, you'll also have a chance to volunteer this week to represent. We need usually like one person per homeroom or something like that for the lunchtime contest. These also go into the point total, and they're just fun little games. Student council came up with an idea for a scavenger hunt. I have not planned the specifics, but it'll probably be around the school, and you'll need somebody who's kind of smart and fast. And if you win, there's big points available here. So there's definitely points available for dress up. But if you want to help out your grade and you think you'd be good at a certain lunchtime contest, when homeroom teacher asks you for a volunteer, do it for sure. All right. Then Tuesday of this. Now remember, it's this next week. Student council, we were kind of stuck. They wanted something new, and everything I looked up, we kind of had some ideas, but we want something that everybody can do. And so they said, we've done some of the same stuff before. Jammies or pajamas or even sweats are always a popular one. And I thought, well, there's never a theme for this. And so this doesn't necessarily go in with our pride, but I think that this should just be a pat on the back of saying, like, guys, we've lived through 75% hopefully or so of a global pandemic that's changed our world like nothing in my lifetime. And to be honest, most kids are just taking it in stride. You guys are pretty impressive, but I bet at times it's been a little bit stressful for you, right? At the very least, school's been a little bit different. So no assemblies, no field trips. So on Tuesday, the hashtag is we deserve some chill time, because you do, and so do teachers for sure. So bring your best jammies, no muscle shirts, Moose, or any of you other muscly sixth grade boys. Who else do we got? Hunter, he's pretty muscly. There's sixth grade muscly girls too. I don't want to say that, but gotta have sleeves on your shirts and your jammies, and just come and dress up and relax. All right. And again, we should be clear that you're wearing not your normal clothes, but your jammies. And then the lunchtime dance contest. Good thing we're going to be dressed comfy because it's a Just Dance challenge. We'll put the Just Dance video game on in the pod, hopefully. We'll have a panel to see who follows those steps. So if you got some good dance moves, sign up for Tuesday's lunchtime contest. Wednesday, this is an old favorite. I think we maybe had done a version of it even during Red Ribbon Week this year, but I wanted to keep it in because it just goes pretty pretty easily. People can do it. And part of celebrating your pride are your interests and what you like, okay, and what make you unique. So you got a favorite sports team, cool, or a band or a movie or a book or video game or whatever you're into, so you can kind of rep what you are interested in. Then that is Wednesday's hashtag fan pride. It is not a no laughing challenge. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to change that. I have to pull out my flyer a little bit. We did the dance challenge, scavenger hunt. I don't remember what this one is. Oh, karaoke. Yeah, karaoke is supposed to be on there on Wednesday. This is left over from last year. Sorry about that, guys. So all of our singers, which is clearly not me, be ready for Wednesday to win some points for your grade. And then last day of the week for Pride Week is always about school pride, Beaver pride. Okay, taking pride in who we are in AF and at WTMS. So you are actually getting brand new free T-shirts for this day. We want you to wear them on this day, and then they're yours to keep and wear whenever you want. All right. And generally, that's the time for a pretty big assembly at our school, and it's been really fun in the past. Not quite ready to put all 350 of you guys in a pretty small gym, but we may have a surprise this day, a video of some kind. But really, you're supposed to wear that pride shirt. Also, did I mention you can keep your phone with you all day on this day, Thursday? This is the Thursday right before spring break, by the way. So it's going to be pretty hyped up. Hopefully you can settle down in class. Teachers are going to be mad at me. During class with the phone, if your teacher says, put it in your pocket, I know you have your phone today, they can still take it if you're mistreating it. Okay. It's more for hallways. If you want to take pictures of each other for school pride around certain areas, I know I will be, then that's kind of what the idea is, to give you guys a little, prize of some kind. And then the last lunchtime contest, a sports skills challenge. We're going to need some athletes, soccer players, volleyball players, basketball players, put together sort of like a relay race. We did a version of this last year, and that will be the end of it. Usually we have a very big cheer contest at the assembly. We may even have a way to do that digitally. So we're working on some things, but now you can start planning out your dress options. Okay, remember Roots Pride, this chill, fan day, and then Beaver Pride. Okay, so we need, and I don't know why, but when people walk down the hallway and they seem like they're just oblivious and not participating, join our school community. Okay, if you may think that you're too cool for this stuff, you're not. Okay, you're just not. It's just for fun, and if you can put some healthy peer pressure on each other, because your sixth grade student council members said they're doubtful about you. And I said, are you sure? And like, well, maybe we could do better. So let's show everybody that you sixth graders are going to be somebody that's going to be reckoned with in this contest the next 3 years. All right. So pod lesson, try to go quick because that took a while to introduce. I forget you guys haven't done a Pride Week before, so it takes some time to tell you how it works. So remember last time we talked about habit 7 is sharpen the saw, from this book we've been reading all year, or at least I've given you lessons from this book. And remember, sharpening the saw is about being at your best, not just using a dull instrument and keep working. So we learned that you have to take care of 4 domains if you're going to sharpen the saw: the soul, heart, mind, and body. Our lesson last week was about the body. So we know that what you put into your body is important. I don't know why the words look like that. So while you're eating, just avoid extremes. A little bit of ice cream, maybe not the whole carton. Okay. Some Takis, but not 5 bags. So, and then make sure that moderation with all things, but no moderation for harmful substances that could lead to addictions. Just stay away from that stuff. You need some physical activity. You need to find something that works for you, whether it's going for a walk, jogging, something. When you're young, you may think like, I'm pretty active, but this can catch up to you when you get older if you're not physically active. And why do the words look like that? And then self-image. Please remember that if you feel healthy, you can move around, you have a good self-image and self-esteem, that's fine. You don't have to worry about all the airbrush images out there and the stupid expectations people sometimes have for appearance norms. Just be you and feel healthy and be the best version of yourself. All right. Today, talking about your mind, domain number 2 that we need to sharpen the saw and take care of. Here's the things that we'll focus on as we're talking about caring for your brain or your mind, and we'll go through pretty quick. We want you to try to be lifelong learners. What do I mean by that? Well, your brain's pretty darn important for your future success. And we want you to just not only be a learner while you're in school, but your whole life. I'm still learning things. I learn things today. So remember, that goes in with the most recent brain research out there, that there was a time that people would have you take an IQ test and said, and they would assume that that score meant, well, now we know what this person's life is going to look like for the rest of their life, okay? Because they have a certain number with this IQ test. We've since learned that your brain is not fixed. Your brain can always grow, especially when you're young, when you can form new synapses and always growing new neural pathways. So keep that growth mindset and say, even if you don't know something, you can know it eventually. You're always going to be able to learn and grow. So just remember, like an excellent athlete, your brain's going to need training. If you haven't read anything or done any puzzles, and we'll talk about what you can do to work your brain here in a little bit, your brain can come kind of kind of squishy and fat and lazy. You need to work out like this buff brain over here. And I want you to think too about, if some of you guys are athletes and you know that eventually you're going to be focusing on, you'll be in charge of your own learning 100%. Just like I am now. I'm in charge of my own learning. But when you're young, just like an athlete, you don't come with the first time you touch the soccer ball and know exactly how to win a World Cup game. You need training. You need help from parents and teachers. So start hopefully enjoying school now and know that there's always a chance to keep learning and growing. Second thing you can do, find something that you like. Just like I told you, exercise for your body, you need to find something that works for you. How that applies to school, I think I'm quoting from the book here. While you may need to endure some subjects you don't enjoy at school, find subjects you do enjoy and build on them. So yes, middle school, even in the high school, you take things, even in the college, you take things that maybe aren't perfect for you, but you can pull little things out of there, glean from them, and eventually you'll know what you really like, okay? And I wanted to encourage you to read, but not just books, even though that's important. And this is a picture from one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes, if you guys ever heard of that show. But if you learn something or you learn to like something and you want to read a photo, a painting, a sculpture, a building, a car engine, I think all those things can be read. I think even like a tweet can be read in this way, or definitely a sports contest can be read in this way, and learn to see the nuance. Nuances are little details, and I always think of baseball. When my wife watches baseball, all she sees is boringness, and that's a lot of people I know, but I see pitch selection and catchers framing the ball and the way that a second baseman turns a double play, because I love these things, okay? So when you find something you like, you're going to recognize, like, oh, listen to that little part they did on the trumpet right there, or you see that pass with their heel in soccer, or, ooh, look at the chassis on that car, or the engine's reviness. I don't know engines because I don't know the nuance, okay? But just know that your brain can be exercised by certainly books, but also other things that you're into. So if it's making your brain work, that's good for you, okay? So find what sort of text you want to read, okay? Engines or books, doesn't matter, and then keep doing it. Learn more about them, and you become an expert on that thing. Watch out for mental barriers. Certainly like screen time. And you can read off of screens. You can do a lot of good things on screens, but you can do a lot of time wasted on screens. Man. And kids today seem to be just drawn to screens. And sometimes my wife and I just, why? We're trying to set these guidelines too. So just be careful, because it can be numbing, and you're just pushing a button and Candy Crushing and over again. You're not working that thing. You're just working your eyes, and that's it. So don't let screen time dull your brain a little bit. Watch out for the nerd syndrome. Don't know what I mean by the nerd syndrome? If you've ever been nervous about someone reading your test score out loud and you have 100 and you don't want to be made fun of for being oh, you're smart, or oh, you're a nerd, don't let people do that. That's silly. Okay. Don't ever let someone make you feel like being smart is a bad thing. How? I don't get that. Okay. Maybe just tell them that your brain's going to take you pretty far. I just think of the kid getting made fun of for being smart. Where are they going to be in 10 years as opposed to those kids that are making fun of them? Okay, so don't ever be shy if you are good at something, ever. And then pressure. If you are somebody that you feel like does well and you get a lot of straight A's, good for you. That's great. But remember, you're not always going to be perfect. Okay, I've known people that you're going to get a B in life. There's kids out there that haven't yet, but you will. Even if it's not in school, you're going to fail at something. Sorry. And so just remember that you don't have to be perfect, because perfection can actually perfection is the enemy of progress, something like that. Okay, so you don't have to be perfect. Next up, motivation in the mind. I think this is it. Somewhere else in this book, it talks about how animals don't have the ability in their brain to project a possible future, that they just see like, oh, hey, there's a squirrel. Okay. Or I don't know what cats think, like, oh, I'm going to lick everything. Or I don't know. They can't imagine, hey, I'm here now, but if I work hard, I can be here. So we can. Our brain's very powerful. If you can imagine something, then you can start your way down that path. But your brain is kind of also a source of motivation. You have to say, I can see this vision, but I got to make it happen. So what you do with that lump of gray matter between your ears, that can take you literally anywhere. You can do anything with it. Please don't waste your very precious minds. And yours as young people are especially precious because it's growing, growing, growing. And if it's just getting wasted with silly stuff, that's a sad thing. So use that brain for the powerful tool that it is. All right. The quote that was at the end of this, because not gonna lie, your pod lessons this year are pretty much the same thing that we did last year. We learned the 7 habits for the first time, but all of a sudden this week I ran out of PowerPoints, and I thought, why don't I have any more PowerPoints? And I looked, and I had a bunch of old notes, because we were already into the pandemic almost a year ago, and I was giving pod videos like from afar. I didn't know how to use PowerPoints or anything. So it's crazy. It's been almost a year, and we're getting through it. But this was a quote from March of last year, and times were pretty scary right then. And has nothing to do with sharpening the saw in your brain and our lesson for the day, but it is a quote from Winston Churchill, who was in a book that I was reading about World War II, and what was happening in London and England, and how the bombings and what was going on there. And he was a great leader for them at the time. And he said it would be foolish to disguise the gravity of the hour. It would be still more foolish to lose heart and courage. So basically, last year at the start of the pandemic, saying like, yeah, this is serious, but we can be wise. We can be courageous and get through it for sure. So I was like, well, that's not really relevant anymore. But I wanted to keep it in because I feel like a year later, we're on the downward slope of this thing, guys. It's cool that we're in green. That's really cool. I'm glad that you guys don't have to 24/7 have a mask on, even though we do need them part of the time. And we're still distancing, doing those things. But I know I like to use sports analogies, but this is kind of like fourth quarter and you're up by 10. Good job getting here, but we're not through it yet. Okay, we're just not. So keep being smart about when you're sick, about who you're close to all the time. Okay, and know that life is going to look different here, I think, by summer. I hope we're doing well. We got vaccines coming, but the game is not over yet, y'all. We've got to finish it off. So thanks for listening. I guarantee you that was longer than most of them, so I apologize. I hope I was under 20. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. This is awkward at the end. Oh, 23. Sorry, guys. Okay. Have a good day. See you.